Hello all. I guess we're cooking. We're going again. I just don't like the way I've got all kinds of really cool lights and stuff to set up to do these YouTubes. I just haven't set them up. We live in a really small condo while we're here in Hawaii, and we have guests coming on Thursday, and so we have kind of put everything away, and so I don't have my lights out, or my lights are out, or whatever it is. Anyway, it's time for another YouTube. I said last week when I did my YouTube that I read a lot. I read a lot, and I love to read, and I love to read self-help books because I started reading them. 1986, 32, 33 years ago, to for myself, because I was trying to become a better person, and there wasn't many self-help books at that time, but it was just becoming a thing, and so I started reading them then. And so it's been a really interesting journey, the way that psychology has gone and the way that neuroscience now can help us in the different things. And there are so many books available to help us in business and in relationships and in leadership and motivation and inspiration and transformation and all of that kind of stuff. And I know that you are extremely busy, and I don't seem to be. So I will give you some of the insights that I have come up with. Last time I talked about a book called no, I can't even remember what it was. Here, let me look on my tablet here. The Awakened Millionaire. And I couldn't remember the guy's name. I couldn't remember it all week. I finally had to look it up. His name is Joe Vitale. You've probably read a lot of his books, The Attractor Factor. He was one of the main characters in the film The Secret. He's done a lot of different books, a lot of different programs, coaching programs, teaching this and that. I love his books. I love the way he writes, and I love his the way that he thinks. And so I read all of his books. Today we're going to talk about the 4 kinds of leaders, that basically the 4 types of leaderships or speakers or whatever you want to call us in this world, coaches. And it depends a lot on where you're at in business and what type of things you do in business. It's important to find this out so you can realize what type of leader you are. And I always tell people, they always ask me, well, how do I know if I'm a leader? Well, everybody's a leader because somebody somewhere is following you. If you're a parent, you're leading a child. If you're a teacher, you're a leader. The best way to tell if you're a leader is to look and see if anybody's following. And we have to decide how we're leading them and where we're leading them, and if it's working for both of us. So I found that when I learned this, it was very informational to me. It was very enlightening to me to find this out, that some leaders are very informational. They're teachers. They are instructors. They lead corporations. They lead projects where a lot of information is given. They are doctors. They do doctor seminars. They do that kind of stuff. To me, because I'm not an information gathering kind of person in that sense, to me, they're just a little boring for my taste. But they're very needed, and it's extremely important to have this information. And so I do, when I need to learn something about something, I do go to those leaders in that field to learn that information. So I'm glad that they're there. If you are an informational type leader, meaning that information is very important to you, and the reason that it would be important to learn the other types is because sometimes all of the people that you are leading don't necessarily you might be losing them in some of your instructions or some of the information that you're giving them. The next type, and they're not a type as far as 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just different types of people. One is that motivational type of coach that can get you all riled up, get you all excited and going, and they're that coach of the team, of the basketball team, baseball team. I could even be the sewing league. It doesn't matter. They're that kind that can get you all hyped and get you ready to go. Very important in our lives because we need to be motivated. Some of us aren't self-motivated, and therefore we need to get our motivation from somebody else. The difficulty in that kind of just strictly being motivational is that motivation only lasts. I used to have a mentor that said anybody can stay excited for 30 days. 90 days is about the max. And that's usually we need to get another shot of motivation. So if we're depending on that type of motivation to keep our teams going or whatever it is, we have to continually be out there motivating them. The other type is inspirational. It sounds like motivational, but they're not quite the same. Inspiration is that feeling that you get inside you that you've got a cause and you're ready to go out and take on the world for whatever it is. The deep feelings inside you are what motivates you, not the external excitement of things. Also, great type of leader. And then there's the transformational leader. And they're a little more on what we call the spiritual realm, the soul-based, kind of the win-win kind of situation. That's where I'm trying to get to, that point where I can be transformational in my own world and find a way to help others to transform themselves into to a better whatever they want to be. And in a transformational leader has to be a little bit of all the other three. So they have to be a little bit motivating. They have to be a little bit inspirational. They have to have enough knowledge and everything to be able to maybe recite some facts and that kind of thing. And like I said, either one of them doesn't, none of them are good or bad either way. It seems to me that if you can figure out a way to become more transformational in your approach, it will help you in your teams, especially if you are a coach or you are a team leader of some sort, because your teams are going to be made up of a whole bunch of different individuals. And each one of them will be inspired or motivated or in different ways. And so the more that we can learn how to, in ourselves, how we can become more transformational, how we can change, how we can become more acceptable and more, not necessarily tolerant, but more able to work with a whole bunch of different people, the more successful at coaching and leading people we will be. And that's important to us, right? I'm finding that the more I work on myself as far as the different tendencies that I seem to have as far as getting things done or not doing or habits or something like that, the better that I can, the more that I can become the best me that there is. And we don't know what that is. So I know it's better than the one that's here. That we will become that I can relate better to other people, and therefore I can help them on their journey. And so, as we determine which one of these we tend to be, most of us will be either in those first three, because most of us haven't become yet into the transformational mode, but a lot have. We come from different backgrounds. We come from different arenas. We come from intellectual areas. We come from teaching. We come from construction work. We come from different kind of places where some places, some job environments don't like people to be self-motivated. They just want them to follow the rules. Here's the information. Do it. So as we work on bettering ourselves, we will become a better leader, and we will become better able to help our teams. And as we help our teams, we will get that win-win going that we talked about last week, and we will become successful in our own right. That doesn't mean that we'll all have the same success as far as financially goes or any of that, but we will know at the end of the day that we are the best that we can be at the moment, and that we will continue to work on it the next day. Hope you're all having a great life, and continue to work on yourself, make those changes that you feel need to be made. And if you're not where you want to be in your life, either in your relationships, in your business, or what it is, remember to continue to ask those how questions. How can I do it better? What is it that I'm lacking personally that is holding me back? How do I sabotage myself? Always working at changing ourselves, because if we change ourselves, we can be more empathetic, and we can learn, and we can see how other people can benefit from our knowledge. And then instead of telling somebody, we can instruct them and help them in their lives. So that is all there is for tonight, or today. I guess it's night here, 10 o'clock. I'm going to say sayonara. I figured out. I have a just an offside here. Not, I'm not the one. I keep saying I'm not, and I have to change my my mode of speaking. I have never become confident or even anywhere near capable of using all the technology that we have in the world today. My son is a computer programmer. We have our daughters are whizzes on the things. Becca is really good at it. That's my wife. And so I usually don't do anything with it but turn it on. And so I have an iPad, and the iPad you have to touch, so I'm touching all these things, trying to get it to work. It says end stream, touch this arrow. So I'm touching this arrow, and it's not ending. So now I know that the arrow that I have to do is this arrow that's moving around. Of course, you probably can't see it on the screen, and I have to put it right here to where it says end stream and push it. Bye.